Back in 2018, I visited Brussels, and on the way back I was in the airport, had quite a bit of a wait, and I remember sitting there looking at these large screen panels. Being a YouTuber, I think like that, and there were these panels like that, which obviously fit nicely on columns and things like that. They had advertisements constantly playing on these vertical screens. Screens the same size as a phone as you're looking at it, normally vertically like that. Some people in those days would video vertically and post them up, and you go, duh, stupid fools, turn it round. And I remember, because I had such a long time to sit there waiting, I became mesmerised by these screens. There was an advert for an upcoming Madonna concert or something like that. I vaguely remember Madonna dancing around. And, you know, toothpaste and usual stuff they advertise in airports. Breitling watches and, you know, aspirational stuff. And then I realised I'm mesmerised. I realised that I was mesmerised, and I suddenly thought, oh, this is interesting. This is a whole new advertising medium. So when I came home, my son was in, you know, one of those things, what am I going to do with my life? And he was sort of interested in video editing. And I said, there's this thing. It's like 30 seconds, maybe 25, 15 seconds, vertical like that. Get in on it now. And he went, oh, that'll never take off. Who would want to watch that? I said, it was amazing. I said, if you did some things like that and put them together in a show reel, you would just get a job straight in at advertising agencies and stuff. No, he didn't want to do that. Couldn't see the point. Fair enough. If you don't want to do it, your heart's not in it. You don't want to sit there all day doing that editing. Scroll on to 2024, and 2018 was when TikTok really took off. I didn't know about that. So there was this whole TikTok thing starting to take off at that time. And so it was on the news, TikTok this, TikTok that. And I kind of looked at some kids' TikTok things and thought, no, I don't want anything to do with that. And as far as I was concerned, it was a thing for kids. And I thought, I don't want to be involved on a kid's platform. It's like embarrassing, you know, granddad coming in and doing breakdancing or something like that. Which is exactly what has happened, of course. And in that same time, I got really fed up with Facebook. I got really fed up with Instagram. Instagram just wasn't doing anything. It didn't feel like it was achieving anything. I got fed up with Facebook. I still don't see the point in Facebook. And I was on Instagram as a marketing tool, but I couldn't see the point of that anymore. It seemed like you had to work so hard to reach people doing things that I just didn't want to do. And so I shut down my Facebook and Instagram. Signed off. And Twitter was pottering along quite nicely. I've got sort of 3,500 followers or something on Twitter. And they tend to be children's authory kind of people who follow me there, which is good. And then I thought, I really should be on Instagram. I really should try. So I went back on Instagram. And Instagram had changed, and it was Reels. I sort of tried to ignore it, and I'm doing my old-fashioned Instagram thing, which has no effect at all. Doesn't get to anybody. The only thing that comes up on your feed is Reels. And what I find really interesting is looking at other people's Instagrams and what comes up. Beauty, cooking. All I get, and this probably says so much about me, all I get is space launches and third world industrial processes, which usually involve some guy in a dark factory in Pakistan doing incredible things with a lathe or something, and these incredible manufacturing processes, which are Victorian, but they're still producing. And you think, oh my God, that's how they make tennis balls? Now I look at everything and think, however smart that looks, that's probably being made in a funny little factory in the back streets of Pakistan or India or something. And those are the things I get. Lots of woodworking videos, which I find fascinating. I suppose the more I watch them, the more they feed me. Oh, and building disaster videos. And suddenly half an hour has gone, and it's ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. Watching pure rubbish. I get lots of people trying to sell me stuff And they come on and go, hi, I want to tell you about zip, on to the next one. Hi, I want to tell you about zip, on to the next one. Just scroll through them until, oh, finally, here's a guy in the back streets of Mumbai making something interesting. Oh, I'll watch that. As far as I'm concerned now, Instagram has no use for me at all, bar a little bit of messaging, and that's about it. WhatsApp, I'm not on WhatsApp. I refuse to have anything to do with WhatsApp. And then along came YouTube Shorts. And I didn't quite understand what them. I mean, I do now. I mean, it's their desperate. It's YouTube's desperate sort of reply to Reels and TikTok. The whole YouTube algorithm has sort of turned around in favour of this entertainment stuff. As a creator, then I'm constantly being encouraged by YouTube. Do shorts, because there's this benefit, there's that benefit. There are no benefits, in fact, from making shorts on YouTube, other than you might get a lot of views, one might go viral, but it has no actual benefit for your channel because it pulls in a completely different audience who don't really want to watch your long form stuff. I think you should either be long form or shorts, whatever you want to do, but stick to one thing. Then last autumn, YouTube invited me to come on an accelerator program to help my other channel, Draw Stuff Real Easy, which is a made-for-kids channel. Now, the advertising revenue, which is important to me, was going down and down and down and down. I thought, well, if I can get the views up, it'll, fantastic. And so I was doing everything they said, and the views would not go up. We had one big made-for-kids YouTuber talking to us. We had sort of fantastic people talking to us every week. She was a trained statistician as well as singing Baby Shark and everything else. And so she really sort of encouraged me to really go into statistics. And I realised that it's not a YouTube channel anymore, it's a Google channel. The views coming from YouTube were coming down and down and down and down. And the views coming from Google were going up because people weren't being fed how to draw stuff anymore. They have to go and search for it. How do I draw this thing? So people were having to actively search for how to draw something. Instead of having like, oh, you watch that, maybe you want to know how to draw it, and that would just pop up in the side. It doesn't have entertainment value, so YouTube stopped promoting. And in our course, we were really being encouraged to have a go at shorts. And I did some shorts and things. I did 2 or 3 which were really rather fun to do because you just got that bang, you got to make an impact, you got to do it. And they kind of did quite well. But I think also YouTube had a thumb on it a little bit, helping to promote because I was on the course. It's made me think a lot about shorts, short form video. The other day I was worn out. I've been writing all morning and had to have a little lie down in the afternoon. And when I woke up, I got my phone and an hour went by on Instagram. I thought, this is not right. And I've since been looking into it, that it's devastating for children. They are just purely addicted. It's crack cocaine. And so these media companies are forcing crack cocaine down children's brains, into children's brains. They're not talking to each other anymore. At school, they're just there. They've got phones at school. They're just constantly connected. Screen. This is fine. This is long form. There's a kind of a process to the whole thing. It's not just jung. YouTube is a fantastic platform. There's all sorts of people on here doing all sorts of stuff. But it's a kind of storytelling, long form medium. You engage with it, you don't just sit and become a zombie watching it. Some people might. Some people must be zombies watching some of the stuff that is on YouTube. And I hardly watch YouTube except for things that I want to see and search for. And I cannot understand some of these daily This Is My Life shows. Why are people watching? But why are you watching me now? I don't understand. I don't have the time to do that because I've got so much I want to do in the real world. I don't have time to watch videos. I don't have time to sit there flicking through Instagram. I've now become convinced that TikTok short form video is lethal to growing children's minds. It might not be in that with AI and the way everything is going. They might be preparing their minds for a future where they're going to need to be zombies to survive. I don't know. Basically, I think we are destroying the society of 5-10 years to come, when these youngsters are growing up and are unable to really integrate themselves within society. What are they going to do? What are they going to do? I really don't know. Humans are incredibly adaptable, and no doubt society will change and adapt, but it's going to be a very, very different society, and I'm not sure it's going to be the better. Why am I telling you all this? Well, this is another thing about YouTube. This little thing popped up, I don't know, a couple of months ago. I first noticed it. There's a tab in my YouTube studio. So if you don't put videos up yourself, then you have this sort of back office called the YouTube studio, where you organise all the videos that you upload and everything. And this new tab popped up called Podcast. I thought, oh, what is that about? Had a quick look, didn't make any sense. And I thought, oh, that's a whole other thing. You've got to start, it's all about audio and stuff. And then last week I was looking at it again, having done a kind of a talking to camera thing like this. And I thought, well, what is that about? So I looked it up again and actually sort of spent a bit of time trying to understand what this YouTube podcast thing. And basically, it's a playlist, but it's a playlist of talking heads, like a podcast, you know, so that you could maybe cut the visuals out and it doesn't really matter. You're just listening to what's being said. And then I thought, I'm in this period now where I'm busy writing and there's not much to show. And I don't want to spend all my time sort of thinking, oh, I've got to make this video and I've got to draw this and I've got to draw that. It suddenly dawned on me, yes, I can do this as a playlist, as the diary of a children's author. Sitting here writing away, which is really, really boring, watching that. But while I'm writing, I'm having thoughts and ideas, which I can express through this medium of the YouTube podcast, which is essentially a playlist. I'll be putting this up on Thursday, but then I'll also be doing this sort of Easter egg thing this week, because it's Easter next week. So there's a bit of drawing, there's stuff like that. And in the meantime, I'm writing. So that's what's going on. And if you are at all interested in what I say, if you're still here even, and you've not subscribed before, click down there, make sure you are subscribed, and I'll be back with another YouTube podcast next week. I don't know what I'll be talking about. It's all about what I'm thinking about this week. So it's Saturday morning now, and I did make a little voice note this week to remind myself what to talk about, and it was about Instagram. So, and I deleted it off my phone, and I'm not quite sure yet about deleting it altogether. I haven't quite made that decision, but I've certainly deleted it off my phone. Not for the first time. And each time I'll just check and just reinstall it. And thanks for watching. I'll see you next week.